Hey man, I got that new TMX Thrustmaster wheel. It's going down.
Xbox One?
I can't wait to play when I get home.
Yo, let me play.
Yeah. I play first. Yeah.
You know, I'll race it for it.
Well, I have a hand.
Will not run, keep it up.
Whoa, wait!
Oh no, big mistake! I had to go back last and down to 10. No, he's nearly gone. It has been an absolutely astonishing season.
Hello everybody and welcome to Formula Sim Racing. It's time for the FSR World Championship 2018 Round 2 from the Sakhir International Circuit in Bahrain. We're going to have a 57 lap race around the 5.4 kilometre circuit. There's 15 corners. Unless you're a little bit pedantic, there's 16 because of the final corner. Qualifying has just got underway. Drivers are about to start their first fly-in laps. And considering what we've seen in the practice session, you haven't, we have, we could be looking at potentially into the 1 minute 25s from either Michele D'Alessandro or Yerni Simoncic today. I'm Dave Paling, I'll be your commentator, and joining me in the commentary box and doing the broadcast today is Petter Schulze. Petter, I hope you're feeling well this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm quite fine. Had an exhausting race a few minutes ago, but now I'm ready to do the broadcast with you.
Good stuff. We're here for the most important race of the day, mainly because we've not watched Formula One yet. So I'm going to keep an eye on YouTube, but I won't be able to look at the comments just in case there's any spoilers. Just wondering, Peter, though, who have you got an eye on out there on the track at the moment?
I'm watching Michele D'Alessandro on his outlap, but I think somebody else should start his lap soon. Let's take a look at the live timing.
Well, I think James Sadler and Manuel Biancalila are both on hot laps at the moment, but Michele D'Alessandro could be one to watch for certain. In practice, he got a 1 minute 26.125, but he's actually just gone off the track, so perhaps don't watch him. Yerni Simoncic won last time out in Melbourne. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on today, but James Sadler is coming into the final sector of the track. No, I think he's abandoned his lap. I think he's had a problem. Yes, he has. He's abandoned the lap.
Let's take a look at Ville Lepala. He's currently purple in Sector 1. Reaching the end of Sector 2, let's see what his lap time is. Not a purple sector 1. In fact, he's 8/10 down to Jim Priest's. Remco Meyer just set the fastest lap of the session with a 27.6.
Well, Bianca Leader's just gone and beaten that, but you're right, Vil Lepala, it took me a while to find him. He is coming up to the finish line now. Let's see if he can improve on that lap time. Not really. Jim Paresis with a 1:26.3. These lap times are going to come thick and fast. Michele D'Alessandro has gone on to start his flying lap, but he's not purple in sector 1, but we may want to jump on board with him anyway, because he could be a contender for the race victory. I think he was a little bit frustrated in Melbourne. Go on.
This was not a good hairpin from him. He was sliding, like drifting all around the hairpin because he hit the curb on the outside. So I don't think this will be a good lap time, but he's still continuing.
Well, while you keep an eye on him, I will just let you know
he's
that...
abandoning.
Okay, Yerny Simicic, jump on board with Yerny Simicic, just about to start his first flying lap of the qualifying session. As I mentioned, won last time out in Melbourne, he took pole position and the victory. He's leading all of the standings, because we've only had the one race, through the heavy braking zone of turn 1, the tricky rear end restricted turns 2 and 3, and now it's just a straight shot up the hill to turn 4. A tricky little braking zone. You'll want to brake late, but you can't afford to have the rear end of the car go out on you into the beautiful turns 5, 6. Had to do a little bit of a downshift there. Committed though, using plenty of curbs. Gentle on the brakes into the hairpin, and now probably the bogey corner for most people around this track. Turns 9 and 10, a very awkward braking zone, but very late on the brakes for Yerny Simicic, and turns it in quite nicely. He's 26.9 sector 1. It's not purple, but it's pretty good at the moment. Get ready for the uphill turns 11 and 12. Turns in quite early, and I think he also had to downshift to 4th. That's a little bit of a surprise. I would have thought it'd be 5th gear for most people, unless Yerny's running a very, very long gear ratio. It is purple sector 2 at 37.9. Now there's only one more corner to go. Let's listen to how committed he is on the throttle on the exit of the corner. Oh, he had to wait and wait, but then he's absolutely nailing that throttle. DRS will pop open quickly, and it is pole position, but only just a 26.3. I think we will see quicker than that.
Let's take a look at last year's champion Mohamed Patel. She's just coming up into the tricky hairpin, which goes into the back straight.
He's also done the 26.9 sector 1, so on par with Yerny Simicic. Now, from what I've seen from Mohamed Patel, he tends to run a slightly higher wing, going for extra aerodynamics. That could help him in sector 2 here, Peter. But this is a tricky track, isn't it? Getting that balance of setup, because you need the speed on the straights.
Yeah, especially with this mod and quali mode, it is very, very hard to control the car on acceleration. So you need to have a very, very gentle right foot and the acceleration zones, but Mu looked like quite a good lap, quite a clean lap. Let's see what his lap time is.
It's fourth place. It's not bad. Purple sector 3, so maybe he's gone for a lower wing than majority I've seen from most racetracks from him. Let's see, Eros Masciuli has just completed his lap to go 6th. Germano Zappala is into the final sector now, so let's see how, might be worth seeing how he's going to get on into the final corner. Currently sitting in 11th place, rear end very, very twitchy on him, and that's the difficulty of the final corner there. Crosses the line. It's only 9th place at the moment, but there is still 12 minutes of this qualifying session to go. The drivers are limited to a total 12 laps. It works out about 4 flying laps. So plenty of runs for the drivers to still go and complete.
We're just taking a look at Florian Becker coming out of the last turn. His second sector wasn't the best, his first sector was okay. Let's see what he can do. The last sector. He goes 15 fastest with a 27.8. And Santa Carlos just went purple in sector 1. Let's take a look at it. 26.7 in sector 1. He's on the back straight now.
Well, Sander Callas is a driver that last year showed his potential in the World Championship when he did his reserve races. He had a good outing in Melbourne last time out. Let's see what his Sector 2 time was. Well, if I can look at the timing screen, that would help.
38.2 in second sector. So a
Yep,
bit slower than Simoncic, I think.
Yes, 3/10 down on Simoncic, so maybe he's gone for a low wing setting as well. The front end struggling on entry, the rear end struggling on exit. Yeah, that's a low wing setting on Sander Callas's car. Crosses the line, goes P7. Now, I believe Yerny Simoncic and Mohamed Patel are back out there, but Martin Gosby is on a flying lap at the moment, Peter. If you want to have a look at him, I'll let you know when Simoncic or Patel are about to start their flying lap.
Bit of traffic there for Martin Gosby, but it shouldn't hinder him too much. He's coming up to the last corner right now. Needs a good exit here. Takes a bit of curb on the inside. Very oversteery on the exit of the corner. Let's see what he can do. At 26.9, he does improve on his first lap time.
De Alessandro has just gone through Sector 2. He's coming into the penultimate straight now. I think he'll be a little bit frustrated that he hasn't managed to get a lap time in at the moment, but he is going to be coming around the final corner now. He just needs to get a banker lap in so that he can then go and push all out, trying to go for pole position. I don't think this is going to be pole, maybe about fourth. Yeah, bang on, fourth place for De Alessandro. Yerny Simoncic, though, down into turn 1 just to start his next flying lap. Currently sitting on pole position, as we've already mentioned, but I would not be surprised if we see him improve again. The highlight of his pole position lap in Melbourne was one of a beautiful lap. The car was absolutely hooked up for him. Beautiful. Sector 1 at 26.7. That's 2/10 quicker than he did previous, isn't it, Peter?
It is, I think. Let's check. Let's take a look.
It's not showing me as being purple on the timing screen, but either way, it's absolutely rapid for Simoncic. Let's see how he gets on through Sector 2. But just to let everybody know, Patel has done a 26.8 Sector 1, so slightly behind Simoncic. Okay, one more corner to go before we get the Sector 2 time. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a purple sector here. And when it updates, I'll let you know. Yes, it is. It's a 37.8. That's a phenomenal middle sector. Michi Hoyer has just gone and put himself third place with a purple Sector 3. 21.4 Sector 3 for Michi Hoyer. But Yerny Simoncic pushing the car around the final corner. How much is he going to improve by? Oh, it takes it to a 26.0.
Improvement by over 2/10. Most of it gained in Sector 1, actually.
Yep, Mohamed Patel is about
Let's take a
to
look
cross
at
the line.
Sander Callas, purple Sector 1 again.
Yeah, he has. Sander Callas is showing some good straight line speed as well. 333 kilometers an hour compared to Yerny Simoncic's 330 kilometers an hour. Anybody hitting the 333 is going to have to basically take pole position to make Yerny Simoncic think that they've gone the wrong way on the wings. So how's it going to be? Final corner. Very committed on the brakes. The car does look like it's understeering a bit, and it's wanting to snap on him. That little bit of oversteer trying to kick in. Crosses the line and only goes to 8th.
But it was still an improvement by 3/10 his previous lap.
It was. Do you think it's possible that he is hurting his tyres too much in Sector 1 into Sector 2, that by the time he gets to the end of Sector 3, he hasn't got the grip? Just to let you know, Breliak starting a flying lap as well.
Let's take a look at him.
But yeah, do you think it is possible that a few of the drivers are punishing their tyres a little bit too much throughout the course of the lap?
It might be. It might also be that they, as you said, have a low track setup, so the tires will hurt more in general in the middle sector.
It's a purple Sector 1 for Peter Breliak at 26.730. It's 0.038 faster than what Yerny Simoncic did. So let's see how he gets on through turn 10. Very committed on entry there. Pretty decent grip as well out of the hairpin. DRS will be wide open. He's got a car ahead of him. Hopefully they're going to get out of the way and not cause any hold up for Peter Braliak. Come on, out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. They do get out of the way just about in time, but I'm sure Peter Braliak will curse them if he's lost any amount of time. So through sector 2, it's a 38.0, so not as quick as Simičić, 2/10 down. However, Braliak, I think, has got a slightly better straight line speed, 332 kilometers an hour into the final corner, turns it in. The rear end still trying to twitch for Peter Braliak. But now it's just a straight shot to the finish line. And where's he going to be? It's third place, a 1:26.354. Now, Michi Hoyer just started a flying lap, looking a little bit twitchy though on the brakes down into turn 1, Petter. Looking very out of shape through turns 2 and 3 as well.
Yeah, looks like he has a bit of an oversteer setup. Well, quali mode in general is more oversteer than the race, but I think Michi is used to having more oversteer setup. At least that's what and just as I said, he's run out in the S's after turn 4. I saw in the test races that he likes oversteer setups, or drives oversteer setups more often than understeer setups.
Yeah, well, I think the technical term there would be that was definitely way too much oversteer for him. I'm just having a quick look at Jim Paresis. He's in second place at the moment. He's done a 26.8 sector 1, a 37.9 sector 2. So he's down on himself in sector 1, up on himself in sector 2. Coming up towards the finish line now, the rear end of the car trying to step out on him. I don't think these drivers will be calling quali mode party mode, that's for certain. And it's 26.362, so stays in second place at the moment.
Yeah, let's take a look at Mohamed Batal. Personal best in sector 1, he's coming onto the backstraight now. Good traction in the traction zone out of the hairpin. Let's see, very tidy through here. Looks like he has a very well balanced setup. Can't see much oversteer, can't see much understeer. A bit too much curb, I think he took there on the inside, went a bit wide then on the exit.
Yeah, I think he lost a little bit of time as well, 38.1 sector 2.
Let's see if he can improve. No, he's 1/10 slower than his personal best. But Johnny Simičić is on a flying lap.
Yes, he is. Just to let you know as well, James Sadler.
He's abandoning his lap.
Okay, James Sadler just about to cross the finish line. He was up on himself through sector 2 by a couple of tenths. Only sitting in 16th at the moment, does improve to 12th place. Let's see, who else have we got out there on a lap at the moment? D'Alessandro's going again, 26.7 sector 1 time. I do not think he'll be wanting to start in 6th place, that's for certain. I was having a quick look as well. I was trying to have a look at where Felix van Delft was and how he was getting on. Currently sitting in 14th place. And it would appear perhaps struggling a little bit, which is a surprise. I've not commentators cursed him. But yeah, after a fantastic race in Melbourne, perhaps struggling a little bit. But the nature of this track is very, very different to the Albert Park circuit. Michele D'Alessandro then runs a little bit wide through turn 13. That could cost him a little bit of time.
Yeah, you could see how his car bottomed out on the curb and he couldn't turn back onto the track. That's definitely cost time. A bit of oversteer on the exit, but not too bad. Let's see if he improves.
He does go second with a 26.184. I still think there's a bit of lap time there for him.
Yeah, the ride onto the curb was costly for him. He may have been able to challenge Simičić for a provisional pole. Wouldn't have made this mistake. And I think Santa Carlos is just into sector 3. Coming out of the last corner. Get a green sector 2. Let's see. And he improves by 1/10. Going up to P7.
Okay, I'm just having a look. Jim Paresis is on an outlap at the moment. There's obviously a few drivers who have not put a qualifying time in as yet. There are a handful of drivers with grid drop penalties, a few with back of the grid.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to start the back of the grid, and one David Greco, I think, with a 15th-place grid penalty, but doesn't look like he's put a lap time in at the moment.
Just taking a look at Martin Gosby, who started the lap, but I will change to Johnny Simoncic. He's just coming out of the last, going into the last corner, starting his final qualifying lap.
The thing is, it'll be sod's law. We watch him so that he can do another qualifying pole position phenomenal lap, and it won't happen for us. But let's see how he gets on into turn 1. Very tricky braking zone, isn't it? Turn 1.
Yeah, it is. It's a very tiny, like a very specific braking marker you need to hit. If you're braking too soon, you lose time. If you brake too late, you won't make the corner and lose even more time. So yeah, you have to be very precise on turn 1.
Yeah, not only that, you get slightly too much temperature into your tyres, into the braking zone, and then trying to accelerate out of the corner becomes ever so difficult. He's looking even more committed than I've seen him through the fast right-left chicane there, but he is down in Sector 1. Martin Gosby has improved his Sector 1 time, but he's down by half a second in Sector 2. Let's see how Simoncic get on through the remainder of Sector 2 here. It's interesting watching Simoncic though. Sometimes his steering inputs look very, very frantic, but the lap times are there. But in Melbourne, there we go, a little bit frantic unfortunately for him. But yeah, in Melbourne it was not like that at all. It was probably the smoothest lap I've ever seen him do. Let's see, a few drivers getting ready to start their last qualifying run with only 20 seconds of the session to go.
And I think Jim Paris has just abandoned his fast lap and will do another one, because he didn't go full throttle into turn 10, I think. Let's see, he's exiting the last corner now.
He won't be able to go on for another lap. Let's see. Yep. So Peter Breliak is into Sector 2.
I think Bianca Lilla is currently the fastest in Sector 1, so let's take a look at him.
And that he is. 26.811 through that particular sector. Driving for Twister. Let's see how he gets on through turns 11 and 12. This is where Simoncic just lost control of the car. Bianca Lilla was only slightly up on himself through Sector 1, but he has improved again by another 2/10. So let's see if he can complete this lap. It could potentially put him up to about 5th place. So he needs a decent final corner now. Hard on those brakes, turn it in, hope the rear end grips, which it does. That's absolutely fantastic. Patella's just on the fastest Sector 3 with a 21.3, but Bianca Lilla goes 6th place.
Let's take a look at Michi Hoyer, 2 green sectors going over the line. He improves to P6.
That he does, yes. Stole P6 off Bianca Lilla, I think. And that...
Felix van Delft, the last one on track, just crossing the finish line. He doesn't seem happy, but manages to get into P10 actually.
Probably the worst position to start.
Yeah.
You'd rather be P11 than P10, I reckon. But when I saw him on track, he didn't look too happy. You've just seen him on track, and again, he didn't look too pleased. However, we have got Yerny Simoncic on pole position for the Bahrain Grand Prix in Formula Sim Racing's World Championship for 2018. Can he turn it into another pole and a win?
Do you want a more immersive experience? Thrustmaster T150 force feedback racing wheel. Official PS3 and PS4 licenses, and also PC compatible. Rubber coated wheel grips. 1080 degrees of rotation. Adjustable force feedback. Large metal sequential pad. optimized ergonomic design, mixed belt, pulley, and gear system, Thrustmaster. Enter into the real driving world.
low, keep it up.
Whoa, Reese!
Oh no, big mistake! I had to go back last and down to 10.
It has been an absolutely astonishing season.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Formula Sim Racing's World Championship from the Bahrain International Circuit. The race is going to be getting underway very, very soon, but if Peter is ready, he can take us through the qualifying result.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the quali results. There they are. So Johnny Simonchich qualified in P1 with a 26.0, then Mick Gayle Di Alessandro in P2, Jim Parizes in P3, Peter Brojak in P4. In P5 we have Muhammad Patel in front of Michi Hoyer, P7 Manuel Biancolilla in front of Santa Callis. In P9 we have Eros Mascioli and Felix van Delft running up the top 10 for us. Then in P11 we have Germano Zappala, P12 Martin Gosby. Behind him is Danny van der Niet and James Sadler. Then in P15 Gianfranco Giglioli, P16 Wojciech Lukaszek. In P17 we have Jos Arenada next to Villa Lapala, P18. Then in 19th place Remco Major next to Florian Becker in P20. In P21 we have David Cracker. 22nd we have Marco Conti. Behind them Kirill Burikov and Tobias Olsen in 23rd and 24th. And then on the last draw we have George Manusakis and Sergi Harras.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, for the race then, Peter, strategy-wise, the tyres available are the super soft, the soft and the medium. We could potentially see 2 stops if drivers are going to use the medium tyre, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a more aggressive 3-stop strategy from a fair few drivers here. Is there any ideas from your side of the commentary box as to what strategy people might approach with?
I think if they're very conservative on their tyres, 2-stop is the way to go, but 2-stop is obviously slower in the traffic because the other guys around you will have faster tyres. They will overtake you, so you have to be careful on the tyres. You have to be calm. You have to know that they will overtake you. Then we will have others in 3-stop with 3-stop strategies, maybe even 4-stop strategies. So I think we're onto a race with many overtakes and many different strategies.
Yeah, definitely. Also, fuel is marginal at this circuit, the 7 engine modes that the drivers can use, but probably, I mean, we won't see the drivers using them other than when they're perhaps trying to attack or defend, but there's not a lot of margin for drivers to be able to use a higher engine mode because of the fuel limitations around this circuit and how aggressive it is. Just having a quick look at 11th place, Germano Zappala. Looks like he is on, well, it's showing me a hard compounder tyre, which isn't a compound that we're using, so maybe it's going to need to update in a moment. So yeah, I think the game needs to update on my screen for that one. But yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it, Peter, on fuel for the drivers. So this formation lap, I can imagine, is going to be a very slow one.
Yeah, I think so as well. In this mod we have 7 different engine modes, like mixtures from the engine which consume different amount of fuel and give a different amount of power. And I think most of the drivers will have to use mix 2 or mix 3 in the race. But if they want to defend or attack more and use a higher mix, they obviously need to save fuel in other places. So maybe use a lower mix in the infield, for example.
That they do. Got a quick random question for everybody. I'm not going to be able to see any answers that people try with this, but I'll fire the question out now, and I'll do it again partway through the race, and I'll give the answer later on. So while we're waiting for the drivers to get around to the starting grid, let's test your Formula Sim Racing knowledge, shall we? Which team last won in the World Championship that was not an ACR car, a Ghost Speed car, a Musto car, or an OFR car? If you think you know what the answer to that one is, pop it on the YouTube comments, have a chat about it, see if you can get it right. I'll give the answer out later on. Peder, you want to have a guess at that one?
No, I'm not old enough for this.
Not even
I'm just here.
not old enough.
I'm just here for 1 year, sir.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, let's see if anyone can get that right. Okay, just having a quick look. Again, Germano Zappala is on the soft compound tyre. He started in 11th place. He's potentially going to be a key driver. The gap between Simoncic and Zappala when Simoncic wants to get off those super soft tyres. Martin Gosby, he's on the medium compound tyre, so he's going to be going even longer potentially. Danny van der Neet's on the softs. Sadler, softs. Giglioli, softs. Lukashek, mediums. Araneda, mediums. So a few different potential strategies going on from lower down the grid, that's for certain. As for those guys in the top 10, though, they do have to start the race on the tyres they qualified on. So it's super soft tyres for all of the top 10 drivers. We've got a 57-lap race, which is going to be underway in a few moments' time as the drivers take their places on the grid. You'll notice it's not completely dark yet, although it has been twice already today. Obviously, daytime lasts considerably shorter in Bahrain. So as the last cars make their way into their grid slots, it's time to get the Formula SimRacing World Championship Round 2 from Bahrain for 2018 underway. We wait for the lights. This is where the drivers will be hoping their engines don't get too hot. They don't apply a little bit too much throttle. So here we go then, 5 lights. We're going to wait to go out. 5 lights. And they go out, and away they go. And it looks like Simoncic has been bogged down a little bit at the start.
Oh, and there's a huge
massive crash in the background. It looked like Simoncic bogged down, but he's still holding on to the lead. Although Michele D'Alessandro has gone around the outside of turn 1, takes the lead through turn 2. That's a fantastic start for Michele D'Alessandro. Simoncic having a look up the inside into turn 4, but it's not going to work so early on into the race. But that was a massive crash in the background. Looks like Vio Lepala is out of the race. And for anyone that wants to see a replay, unfortunately, because of the DX11 settings at the moment, getting a quick access replay is not possible. You have to keep an eye out for the highlights for those. So D'Alessandro pulls out half a second gap in the first half of a lap. Simoncic will be frustrated that he's lost that position. How are we getting on a little bit further down? Felix van Delft up to 8th place. I'm trying to have a look at who it was that was involved in that collision. I think it may have been James Sadler because he's got no front wing. He's near the back of the grid. So disappointment for the Ghost Speed driver.
I'm just taking a look at Remco Maier. He's in a battle between 2 Netrex drivers. Remco also notably the only driver on the grid who's running the Halo. Obviously our mod, being a 2018 spec mod, has a Halo on board. So as a driver you can choose to drive with a Halo here in FSR.
I think we're going to have a move. Mohammed Patel is coming under pressure. He's coming under a lot of pressure. He's actually looking to attack though. So as Patel goes to make a move, that stops Biancalila from attacking. That's Patel up the inside into turn 1. Biancalila's going to try and follow him. Oh, but he's squeezed out. That's going to cost him a position as well, because here comes Peder Breliak up the inside towards turn 4. And that's the difficulty with this circuit. If you get out of position and Biancalila runs wide, that's going to be 100% confirmed a position lost. Yeah, if you get out of shape, Peter, in turns 1 or 2, you're a sitting duck to 4.
You are. Not only this, your tires will get hot as well, which could compromise your traction out of the corner even more.
Yeah, definitely 100%. So Peder Breliak on the move, trying to make places further forward. He's actually closed up quite nicely to Jim Parisis. Mohammed Patel up to 3rd place now and pulling away from Parisis. Maybe he's using a little bit of fuel early on and planning on saving later on. I wouldn't be surprised though if Yerny Simoncic just plays a bit of a patient game here, heading towards the first round of pit stops, which I think are probably going to come for super soft runners, probably going to be anywhere between laps 13 to 17.
I think some might even come in earlier, just to get an undercut. So, yeah, I think we will see the first ones in lap 11. So, I think Biancolilla is close to Peter Briliak with Mitchy Hoyer right up his rearing.
He is, Biancolilla, having a look up the inside, and he's actually stopped Breliak, is it? From making any kind of move. Yeah, it is. So Biancolilla taking the position back, and now Michi Hoyer, he was unable to attack because of Biancolilla's attempted overtake. So now Michi Hoyer's kind of got to sit here and wait for the prime opportunity to try and pounce. DRS will be available at the end of this lap, which could aid a few overtakes. I see James Sadler into the pits to repair that front wing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be quite a long pit stop for him. But Michele D'Alessandro opens up just over a second gap, and he needs to do that. He needs to break DRS as early as possible. So just having a quick look, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to attack down the back straight. I'm pretty sure Remco Major, as you mentioned, with that halo, has it on so that he can try and get on the camera a little bit more. Although the best way to get on the camera is to do plenty of attacking. Now let's see, Biancolilla closing in on Jim Paresis now. It's possible that he's just turned the engine up for a couple of laps to try and gain, but the problem, as we mentioned, is if you turn your engine up and run anything above 3 for 1 lap, you've then got to save a lot of fuel later on. So we've got Biancolilla, he's closing the gap, but he's actually not gone for the attack into turn 1. He's thought better of it, which I'm a little bit surprised at, but maybe he's just going to bide his time for now.
He's probably waiting to be able to use DRS, which he can for the first time on the back straight, which is coming up soon.
Marco Conti out of the race, and so is James Sadler, Wojciech Lukaszek, Florian Becker and Vio Lepala all out of the race. Marco Conti's car was stationary at turn 1. I didn't see what happened there. It may have just been a disconnection. But yeah, car stationary, unfortunately.
And actually, after Biancolilla was following Jim Paresis so close, now Peter Briliak seems to be closer to Biancolilla, but gets a better exit out of the chicane.
It's a tricky circuit, this one, for saving fuel on, really. I mean, the obvious way to do it is to run a higher engine mode down the straights and turn it as low as possible through Sector 2. The difficulty is you could potentially become a bit of a sitting duck, and if someone behind you decides, I'm going to run that engine mode a little bit higher through Sector 2 this time, they can close up a half a second gap quite nicely. But Biancolilla still trying to make gains towards the front. Yerni Simicic 1.2 seconds off D'Alessandro, and D'Alessandro looks like he's running a very high straight line speed here. He's pulling away from Simicic by the looks of it.
And Biancolilla making a move on Jim Paresis into turn 1 in the braking zone side by side.
Who does he think he is? Danny Ricciardo? I don't know. It was a nice move, though, from Biancolilla. That's up to 4th place. Let's see if he can try and attack Mohammed Patel. I mentioned in Melbourne that if you're a former champion or reigning champion, you got a target on your back, and Patel said he didn't feel that at the last race. Let's see if he feels it today with Biancolilla.
Manusaka is making a move onto Santa Carlos into turn 4. We're side by side, but Manusaka's had to slot in behind him again.
And just behind them as well, there was a bit of a battle. Remco Major, Giglioli, David Greco and Danny van der Neet. Danny van der Neet in as a reserve driver. So yeah, a little 4-way battle getting close here. But I would expect to see sort of more attacking, more action, perhaps a little bit later on after the first round of pit stops have been done. But I think, is Greco going to have a look? No, he's not, because the car ahead of him also has DRS. Sander Kallas and Manasakis still going at it, Peter.
Yeah, they're still extremely close to each other. Manasakis had a bad exit out of the corner, which means There's a bit of a gap to Sander Carlos now. He needs to get a really good exit out of the last turn so he's able to overtake with DRS, because Sander Carlos will have DRS as well from the car in front of him.
I think Peter Breliak may be about to attack. No, he's lifted off early. Sorry to cut in there.
Yeah, Manusakis is not able to make a move. Oh, actually his late breaker. That was a late dive bomb. Sander Carlos goes right in turn 1. That was a really late move from Manusakis. And Manusakis still gains and gains. Goes up the inside, out of the track a little bit into turn 4. Side by side on the braking zone, a little bit of contact. It's still side by side out of turn 4 into the S's. Still side by side and more contact. And Sander Carlos has to yield out of the track to not.
Yeah, not easy to go side by side through that many corners around this track, but he's done very well. I mentioned a little while ago that Michi Hoyer is kind of going to have to hold position for a while, being stuck behind Breliak and Parisis, and Breliak kind of looks close enough to attack, but isn't going for it. And Michi Hoyer...
Manusakis taking a look at the inside again, but Sander Carlos, but things rise and where it's rather a bit straight.
It's not often a racing driver thinks wise, but if these guys are doing it, then it's great stuff. But yeah, Michi Hoyer, as I mentioned, very stuck. Peter Breliak close again. He's very close on this occasion. I think Breliak's going to have an opportunity to overtake here because the car ahead of him, Jim Parisis, is not going to have DRS to defend. So yeah, Peter Breliak about to be gifted a position.
And Hoyer had a very bad exit out of the last turn, which is why he can't follow the train of Breliak and Parisis.
You can lose so much time by getting a little bit of a tank slapper on through that final corner. Now, Bianca Lila has
Manusakis and Sander Carlos, sorry to interrupt you, are side by side again in turn 1. There was contact again between the two. And behind them, Remco Mayor and David Cracker, I think, side by side. Yeah, Remco Mayor still in front of David Cracker. Cracker makes the move into turn 4. Side by side through turn 4. Still side by side. Remco Mayor needs to leave the track a little bit, and David Cracker was able to make the move into the S's. Interestingly
there as well, Greco on the super soft tyre. Oh, Major! Oh, take out the bollard there. He's still having a look, is Major. Greco squeezing him right off the track, and now I think Major's just squeezed him back, and the winner of that is Danny Van Der Neet, who says, thank you very much, you two can fight, I'll pass you both.
And now David Cracker has no DRS, but Remco and Danny. Remco up the inside of Danny Van Der Neet. Running right there on the exit. Danny Van Der Neet in front again.
Well, I don't know if it's fantastic racing, but it's definitely entertaining racing, that's for certain. But I think David Greco, well, I think both drivers there will be frustrated about how that went. Just to let you know, Yerni Simicic has got himself within DRS range. Now, he's not close enough to attack. We'll keep an eye on that. The leading gaggle of cars just sort of holding station at the moment. But this might be where Michele D'Alessandro has had to just save a little bit of fuel.
And David Cracker is doing some weird weaving on the straight. It looks nearly like he needs to turn his tires on, like they are too cold, because he was weaving for two straights.
Possibly, or he's got an absolutely enormous lock-up on those tyres, and one way to ease the vibration is to turn a bit down the straight. So it's possible he's doing that. I'd be surprised if he needs to turn the tyres on, but he might need to clean them up a little bit, having taken a little bit of a journey onto the painted tarmac that surrounds this Bahrain circuit. So Michele D'Alessandro coming under a little bit of pressure now as Yerni Simicic is closing that gap a little bit more.
Also looks like Michi Hoyer is closing the gap to Jim Parisis. I think he will be able to attack him soon.
You could be very right. Now, Felix van Delft is kind of in a little bit of no man's land at the moment, but if he can keep pushing, he may be able to close up. So let's see, is anybody going to be able to make any kind of attack down the start-finish straight? Michele D'Alessandro crosses the line to start lap 9. He's got a 0.6 of a second gap over Yerni Simicic.
Michi Hoyer is going for it. He's gaining. Jim Parisis is not defending. Michi Hoyer up the inside into turn 1. And he's taking the position.
I was going to say, could Paris
Oh, he
work
has
for
a
a
bad
switchback?
exit. He has a bad exit out of turn 2.
Yeah, it's an interesting one here in Bahrain. You can not defend into turn 1 and have a great run towards turn 4. Let's see if Michihoya gets out of shape again. No, he doesn't. So Parisis is going to have to hold on to the position he's just been forced into. Let's see, Bianca Lila still closing up on Mohamed Patel, but Yerny Simičić is now right on the back of Michele D'Alessandro.
And I think there was an incident between Carlos and George Manisakis because George Manisakis is down in P14.
You could be very, very right there. Considering how much they were side by side, I'm not surprised there'd be a little bit too much aggression on this Sunday evening.
And now Sander Carlos' teammate Danny Van Den Eede is right up the back of George Manisakis. But I had a bit of a bad exit out of the hairpin. Not able to make the move down here on the back straight.
I've just noticed Tobias Olsson was disqualified, I believe, but Yerny Simičić is within half a second now. He's ever so close. He's going to have DRS. He may actually be able to attack this time around. Yeah, he is. He's gaining. He's gaining. Simičić, he's going to take the lead. D'Alessandro not even going to bother defending it because he must be into a fuel save mode.
Yeah, I think Simičić just turned his engine high for the overtake. Oh, he gets a bit out of shape on the exit. Let's see if Mick can capitalize on it.
Simičić going defensive, covers him off, and now he needs this sector 2 to try and open up the gap a little bit. It's possible that D'Alessandro's just say, okay, it doesn't matter if you go ahead of me, I'll undercut you at the pit stop, or I can get you later on once I've saved a little bit of fuel. It would potentially beg the question, if you've got to save fuel now and you've lost a position, why use as much early on? But it's to break that DRS and hope that you can keep pulling away. Let's see if D'Alessandro is going to be able to attack back at all.
Well, Simičić had great traction out of the hairpin, so I don't think he can make a move now. But if it sets it up correctly, he can make a move on the start finish straight, although he runs a bit right there and loses a lot of time to Simičić.
That he does. I mean, if D'Alessandro's wise enough, he'll just follow Simičić for a while, keep that engine mode turned down, save up as much fuel as possible. But he's got to be careful of Mohamed Patel. You don't want to be gifting him an opportunity to attack you. So let's see what's going to happen this time around. I mean, Simičić has opened up, what, 0.7 of a second gap. So D'Alessandro is going to have DRS, but I think he's too far back.
He is. Definitely is.
So no overtakes in the first 4 cars, but now Peter Breliak has managed to close right in on that gap. He's opened up a bit of a gap as well on Michihoya. It might be possible that Hoya's tyres are suffering a little bit, but at least he's got a bit of clear ahead of him.
In the meantime, Danny Van Den Eede managed to get past Manisakis as well as
Oh,
David
Sander
Kreco.
Callas, Martin Gosby have had a coming together through turns 1 and 2. Gosby is off the track. He's going to have to be careful. There's a whole gaggle of cars closing in on him. He could lose 3 or 4 places here as they're now 3 wide. Gosby, don't go for the move. Your tyres are dirty. Oh, what a battle we've got going on here, because now David Greco's right behind him. The halo-adorned Remco Major is
Greco.
also there.
That's not a move you see every day. Diving up into the S's at the inside of Martin Gosby.
Yeah, well, that's the difficulty though. Gosby with the dirty tyre, dirty medium tyres, and I don't just mean they're dirty because they are mediums. Obviously, he's been off the track, and the tyres are going to be suffering. And that's cost him quite a few positions. I mean, he was battling with Callas, so he's lost 5 places. Okay, quick update for you. Up at the front, gap 0.6 of a second from Simičić to D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro is closer on this occasion, but not close enough to attack. The top 4 are going to hold position.
Michihoya is pitting.
Well, you called it. End of lap 11 for the first pitter, and it is Michihoya. What tyre is he going to go for?
Let's take a look.
I'm thinking he might go soft compound tyre. I don't think he's going to like the mediums. It is the soft compound tyre.
And in the back, there's another one pitting. It is the George Manisakis is pitting, yeah.
We got a lot of action on the start-finish straight.
Remco Major up the inside of David Kreco into turn 1. Runs right, both run very right into turn 1. And Kreco's ahead again.
Plenty of action going on, and just ahead of them, Giglioli, as I am calling him, is getting very, very close to the back of Danny van der Neep. I think Danny van der Neep made an overtake on him down into turn 1. D'Alessandro has got that gap down to less than half a second now. I think it might be worth having a look at these two leaders, because it's possible either one could be pitting. It's possible that if they don't, D'Alessandro is going to have an opportunity to attack.
And right now we're coming to the stage where the drivers who can save the tires will have better lap times and be able to attack now, which could be the case for Michele D'Alessandro.
Yeah, I mean, running out in front as much
Simicic
pits. You know what? It's possible that Simicic has been more aggressive on his tyres, but then again, it's also possible that Simicic has decided no one's undercutting me today. So what tyres is he going to go on to? I think it'll be the soft compound tyre, unless he's going to go long with the mediums, but I don't think that'll be what he chooses. It is the soft compound tyre. Felix van Delft also into the pits for the soft compound tyre. So where does Simicic come out? Oh, it's right behind Danny van der Neet, I think. No, it's right ahead of Danny van der Neet and right behind Sander Callas. And look at the battle going on in the background here. Remco Major, Martin Gosby, Michi Hoyer after making his pit stop. So Michi Hoyer is now on brand new tyres, but he's got so much traffic ahead of him. And the problem for him is Gosby is on the medium compound tyre and could potentially be going for another 10 laps.
And Gosby also getting DRS and every DRS from Remco Major. So Michi should have done one more lap on the super softs because they were quicker than Major and Gosby. So he could have slotted in front of them.
For Yerni Simicic, it might not be too bad for him because Sander Callas is on the super soft tyres, so he will be pitting fairly soon.
Oh, and Michi Hoyer making a move on Martin Gosby on the back straight, going up the inside, and makes it stick.
D'Alessandro into the pits. Patel was going to pit, but he decided against it. Biancalila into the pits. Breliak into the pits. So where is Yerni Simicic? Yerni Simicic is right behind Sander Callas now. He kind of needs Sander Callas to get out of the way. Give him DRS, get out of the way, head into the pits, but he isn't. So Simicic is going to have to make an overtake, and let's see if he's gained more over Mohamed Patel. As Patel is making his way out of the pit lane, Patel's going to come out in quite a bit of traffic, I think. No, he's going to slot in right behind Sander Callas. Peter Breliak, though, he's come out right in front of Giglioli. Michi Hoyer has lost a little bit of ground through the course of those pit stops. I think it was very, very interesting that Mohamed Patel was going to pit, but then when he saw that the cars around him were all heading to the pit lane, decided against it, pulled away from the pit lane, continued on for another lap, obviously wanted the clear air, but I don't think it's going to benefit him. If his tyres are punished too much, he's not going to gain anything at all.
It might benefit him because Michele D'Alessandro was stuck behind.
D'Alessandro, sorry, making a move on Sander Callas, and ahead he goes into turn 11. Sander Callas struggling a bit on his tyres. Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, I was about to say he was stuck behind Sander Callas for half a lap, which cost him definitely some time, and Mohamed Patel is pitting now.
So let's see then, is Mohamed Patel going to be able to have gained anything from pitting a lap later? Jim Parisis also into the pits, and Eros Masciuli making his way to the pit lane as well. So Yerni Simicic coming round past the pit entry now. D'Alessandro doing the same. Callas into the pits.
He actually lost best of time, I think, Mohamed Patel. Did he? He might lose a position to Biancalila.
Oh, Biancalila has just made a move on Danny van der Neet, I think. Either that was defending him. Mohamed Patel comes out just ahead of Biancalila. So holding position in overall.
In the background, there's still the massive battle between Martin Gosby and Remco Major. Gosby managed to overtake Remco into turn 1.
And right behind them as well, not mentioned him yet this race, is Kirill Birakov on the medium compound tyre. And he's looking very aggressive as well on the back of Remco Major. Should quickly mention though that Germano Zappala leading the race at the moment, but hasn't stopped yet. Currently on the soft compound tyre, and in his mirrors getting bigger and bigger is Yuri Simičić.
Birukov goes up the inside of Remco Major, braking into turn 7 into the hairpin. Is now ahead of him. I think Remco's tyres have hit the cliff.
Here comes Felix van Delft as well. Felix, I think, is going to have him into turn 11. Yes, he is. Up the inside he goes. Late braking. Can he keep it on the track? Yes, he does. Fresher tyres makes it a little bit easier for him. But a frantic portion of the race here. Danny van der Neet coming under a lot of pressure from Michi Hoyer as well. It's a situation, Peter, I don't know where to look. There's too much happening. Danny van der Neet heading to the pit lane. Yuri Simičić about to retake the lead of this race, and he does so down into turn 1. And overall, he's gained nearly, 1.8 seconds over Michele D'Alessandro through the course of those pit stops?
Yeah, he did. He had quite a big amount of clean air after his pit stops, whereas all of his competitors didn't have that clean air.
Birukov makes a mistake. Felix van Delft is going to be able to attack him towards turn 4. Having a look up the inside. Felix van Delft did an overtake on the previous lap. He's doing another one now into turn 4. A beautiful move. I think Birukov can't compete being on the medium compound tyres compared to brand new softs.
Yeah, mediums are 16 laps old now, and obviously newer, softer tyres are faster than older, harder tyres.
D'Alessandro making the move on Zappala into turn 11, and I don't think Zappala was fighting that at all. As you were just about to mention, 16 lap old soft tyres. They're not very nice, are they, Peter?
No, they're not. I was driving on 20 laps old mediums earlier, and they weren't that.
I was driving on brand new softs and they weren't that nice. Okay, so most pissed.
Mohamed Tatel about to make a move from Germano Zappala as well. He's actually driving into the pit lane? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I was going to say soft tyres, probably going to go 16. They can go a little bit longer if you're kind to them, but once the tyres start going, you just lose so much time. Martin Gosby under attack from Felix van Delft. Felix is the man on the move at the moment. Oh, he's going very aggressive. Gosby's going to make him go all the way around the outside. These two were in the same team last season, flag to flag, racing in different divisions. But Felix van Delft, at the moment, going from flag to flag a little bit quicker than Martin Gosby. Well, Gosby trying to attack back up towards turn 4. He's going to try around the outside, but can't quite do it. Now, Peter Breliak, sitting in 5th place at the moment, is beginning to get a little bit closer to Biancalila. But this is an interesting situation for those in the know. For the likes of Patel, Biancalila, Breliak, if they've been able to save fuel while staying this close to a car ahead, it could benefit them so much later on, giving them much more opportunity to attack. Eros Mashiuli looks like he's trying to make some moves on Martin Gosby now, as he does. Super soft tyre, medium tyre. That's a battle that unfortunately Gosby was never going to win, but there was a little bit of contact there. I think Gosby may have to consider scrapping the tyres that he's on. He's just losing position after position at the moment.
Yes, and it's a hard one because he probably would have liked to do at least 7 more laps on the mediums, but because of his spin and the time loss, he's pitting right now. He lost so much time because of the incident. I think was it with Santa Carlos?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You have one spin, it's going to absolutely destroy your tyre life. And Gosby is probably going to come out quite far down the order now. 15th place, no, 16th place, and in a bit of traffic as well. I'm just keeping an eye on this battle up at the front now, trying to see if anybody is making any real sort of gains. Well, let's see. D'Alessandro has been able to close the gap from 2.2 seconds down to 1.7. So D'Alessandro is closing the gap a little bit, but it could just be that Simičić is now into a bit of fuel saving mode.
It might be, yeah. And then further in the back, Danny van der Neet is closing the gap to Jasper Renata. He's into DRS range. Arenado actually makes a mistake out of turn 7 it is, I think, or 6. Yeah, then Ivanid overtakes him for the tricky braking zone to the back straight.
Well, we're 18 laps into this race, and I already feel like I've watched about 35 laps. But it's an interesting race. I mean, these soft tyres, I mean, we've seen a few drivers start on them, do about 16 laps. The later in the race you put them on, the more laps you can do on them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see these leading cars go potentially 17, 18, 19 laps on the soft compound tyre. But in a way, I'd like one of these guys here to do something a little bit different that applies some pressure, makes the cars ahead make a decision. I.e., are you going to push or are you going to save your tyres? And interestingly as well, I mean, Michi Hoyer's dropped off, it's 3 seconds behind Peter Breliak now. Struggled in that first stint, but he's still in with a shout for a potential podium position, depending on what the rest of his strategy is going to be like. Felix van Delft, I said he was a man on the move earlier on. I think he's recently got past Eros Masciuli. Either that or Masciuli is actually catching him up, seeing as he is on the super soft tyre. Yeah, I think Masciuli is closing in on Felix van Delft.
Yeah, he's up to DRS range of Felix van Delft now. If he keeps that close, he will have a move into turn 1. Up at the front, Bianco Lilla managed to close the gap to Patel, I think. He's only half a second behind Patel.
He is. Is he going to be able to attack? I don't think he's just done his fastest lap of the race, potentially the fastest lap of the race. So we'll have a look at that. But I think Masciuli is going to be in position to attack Van Delft. Yes, he is. And this is a situation where Felix has got the choice. He's going to go defensive, but he's got the choice. Defend it as hard as you can using extra fuel, or accept the fact he's going to get past, save your fuel and live to fight another day. And that might not be a bad idea for Felix van Delft, sitting in 9th place now. Masciuli, he's got a bit of a gap to Jim Parisis, 4 seconds, but on those super soft tyres, may be able to close the gap in. However, potentially on an extra stop strategy. Now, you mentioned, Peter, about Bianca Lila closing up to Patel. I think he really is, but Patel is right on the back of D'Alessandro again.
Yeah, and behind them, Peter Briak has closed up. That's like a 4-man train right now. All hunting Jenny Simontic, I would say.
That sounds a little bit like the name of a dodgy country and western pop group, the 4-man train. But there we go. Simontic looking fairly comfortable. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone, I'll save a bit of fuel, I'll let you get a second and a half to me, but you're not getting DRS. That's not going to happen. Just manage that gap. Mohamed Patel, though, he's getting into a situation where he's got to start pushing, because if he doesn't, Bianca Lila is going to be all over him.
Yeah, but also everyone in this train except D'Alessandro is able to save a lot of fuel right now. So it might actually be beneficial for all the 3 guys behind Mick, that they just stay behind them, they fuel, and then later overtake Michele and then attack Jenny with the fuel they saved.
Yeah, definitely. Now, unfortunately, George Manasakis is out of this race a few laps ago. It's possible that he's had an unfortunate DNF because there's no purple ultra soft tyres available around the Bahrain circuit. We saw him use countless amounts of them during the Melbourne Grand Prix. However, he put them to very good use, but unfortunately out of the race here in Bahrain. Now, I know you mentioned earlier, Peter, about being a little bit exhausted from the Ace race earlier on. It is a surprisingly very physical race, this one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Especially now that it gets warmer again here in the at the outside in the real world. Getting more exhausting again to do from the SimRacing. Yeah,
definitely. And I was talking to a couple of people yesterday as well, and they were saying that it's not only physically exhausting because of the multiple engine mixtures and potential strategies, the boost modes, all that kind of stuff. The mental fatigue is massive.
Sorry to interrupt you. Simoncic must have made a mistake. Michele D'Alessandro within half a second of him.
Oh, let's see. Michele D'Alessandro did a purple sector 2 and a purple sector 3. Does the fastest lap of the race.
Actually, he's pushing. He must have saved fuel because he made a bit kind of a gap to Muhammad Patel.
I hope you realise that you have just said that Jiri Simoncic must have made a mistake when he actually did the fastest lap of his race.
Yeah, I've just realised that the gap between Mick and Amu went up by over a second in the last lap. After I said Simoncic made a mistake.
Well, obviously, D'Alessandro was listening to what we were saying. He doesn't like the idea of being pressured from behind. And if he has been able to save the fuel, this will be a feature of the season, by the way, folks, us talking about the fuel. Because it is so marginal at some circuits, it could be a crucial factor as to how races go. And there may be times that we will see someone in Michele D'Alessandro's position, instead of just attacking, they're going to sit there, save a bit of fuel, so that when they do attack, they can attack, pass, pull away. Because that's going to be the key part of it, being able to pull away.
And Muhammad Patel is doing the exact same thing. He made a kind of a big gap to Manuel Biancolilla and is closing up to Michele D'Alessandro now.
Yeah, I think D'Alessandro may be going for the move on this occasion, but I think Jiri Simoncic has turned his engine up to max for the straights.
He did.
Let's see. 32.7 for Simoncic, 32.2 for D'Alessandro. Mohamed Patel did a 31.8, so you're right. Mohamed Patel has decided I'll follow you.
Priliak went past Biancolilla into turn 1. They're still side by side, going on this straight onto turn 4.
It's still going. Briliak with a nice move. He's going to complete it through turn 4, but he's going to have to be careful because Biancolilla has been showing that he's more than capable of competing up at the front end in the World Championship. Although now that Briliak has got past, Biancolilla is just dropping away. This is where Biancolilla may not have saved as much fuel. So Simoncic still holding on to the lead of the race at the moment. And what are we talking? Probably going to be another 5 laps or so until they think about pitting and getting rid of these soft tyres.
And Mick closes the airs mid-straight. That's interesting.
Obviously didn't want to get too close, did he?
Yeah, or one of his pedals is failing. Because you can, in the tuning menu of this mod, you can set when the DRS should deactivate, and if you set it to any amount of brake input, maybe his brakes is applying a little bit.
Yeah, you can also have it to any lift of the throttle closes the DRS, but let's see if it happens this time around. I'm looking from Mohamed Patel's view, and let's see, D'Alessandro's got his rear wing wide open. He's gaining on Simoncic, but not enough. I think Simoncic, anything he's been saving...
in the background, Biancolilla and Briliak going at it again. Biancolilla goes past him into turn 1, but Priliak undercuts him on the exit.
Biancolilla may get a better run out of turn 3 though, but no, hasn't quite got the speed to try and complete the move, unfortunately. And I mean, this is getting rather interesting now up at the front. They've been sitting there in a train doing not a lot for 20 odd laps, and now it's starting to get a little bit feisty.
Yeah, it also slowly comes to the end of the second stint. Not quite, but you know, right now it's the point where tire life might make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just having a quick look a little bit further down the field. The next closest battle we've got is Danny van der Neet and Sander Callas, but they're teammates, so I don't think we're going to see anything too desperate happening there. Giglioli and Gosby, the two Gs, 14th and 15th are quite close. And but yeah, I think the best action at the moment is what is happening up at the front as D'Alessandro still trying to gain on Simoncic to be able to attack, but I think Simoncic has just been managing this beautifully.
Yeah, it looks like he's able to run higher engine mods on straights to not give Mick a chance to come close.
Yeah, definitely. Bianca Lila, though, in the background again. Is he going to have another look? No, thinks better of it. But this is a fantastic battle up at the front. Michi Hoyer is he's got Jim Parisis trying to close him down. There's a second or two between them, so going to be a while until any battle happens there. But these first 5 cars, I mean, 4 seconds, 5 seconds covers a lot of them. Mental. Actually, no, it's not even that. It's 2.5 seconds. My apologies. So, D'Alessandro, what are you... Well, I was going to say, D'Alessandro, what have you got? But the interesting thing about Yerny Simicic's pit stop is, not only did he get the overcut, so to speak, when he pitted, it means his next stint is potentially going to make him pit earlier than Michele D'Alessandro. So for Simicic, if he's in the lead when he needs to pit, it's not a problem. He'll gain again. If D'Alessandro gets ahead of him, it's not a problem. He'll get an undercut. So Yerny Simicic is in a very, very strong position at the moment, whereas Mohamed Patel went longer than most and could be in an interesting situation.
Yeah, and even though Mohamed Patel went longer in the first stint, he might decide to pit earlier this stint to get an undercut. If he's stuck for too long into traffic, then it might be worth it to make an undercut. And I see in the background someone is pitting. It must be Michi Hoyer again. It is.
You are correct. It is Michi Hoyer. I'll go and have a look at what tyres he's coming in on the soft tyres. He's been on them for 15 laps, and I think Michi Hoyer is punishing his tyres too much around this track, and it's going to be another set of the soft tyres for him. But yeah, painful tyres for Michi Hoyer. If they could talk, they would be screaming around this circuit.
He's coming out in traffic again, isn't he? Yeah, he is. Behind 2 Netrex cars.
And those Netrex cars, Danny Van Der Neet, Sander Callas, they're on different compounds of tyre. So one's going to be going longer than the other. It's going to be difficult for Michi Hoyer. Let's see, D'Alessandro is very close to the back of Yerny Simicic, but it doesn't matter how close you are through Sector 2. It's how close you are down that main straight that's really going to matter. I mean, I must admit, I was hoping that in real F1 they would put in an extra DRS zone down this particular straight they're on now to help the possibilities of overtaking, and then we could have used it here as well. Now, this is an interesting situation as well, that you've got Mohamed Patel and his teammate Peter Breliak sitting 3rd and 4th, and this is where ideally it'd be nice for them to have an engineer or an engineer each that are talking to each other, so that Peter Breliak can be telling Mohamed Patel, don't you worry about behind you, my friend, I've got you covered. Or his engineer will be saying to Patel's engineer, look, we've saved loads of fuel, let us past and let us attack, we can help you gain later on. Okay, just had a quick look through the rest of the field, and this leading 5 cars is still the best of the action to watch at the moment. Just seen a little bit of a lag spike there for Michele D'Alessandro, I think. Hopefully that's not going to be the sign of bad things to come. I think that little lag spike as well has just cost D'Alessandro half a tenth in time. I know I had one, a screen freeze in the Ace race earlier. I think I was sitting in 11th place, a second and a half behind a car, and a car 2 seconds behind me, screen freeze. And when I came back, I was 2 seconds behind the car that was behind me until 2 laps later, when he just disappeared and was behind me again. So you can lose a considerable amount of time if you get a little bit of a screen freeze.
You know, it's interesting. It looks like Michi Hoyer is not gaining on the 2 Netrex cars in front of him on fresh tires.
Yeah, it's possible he's just trying to look after his tyres in the opening laps out of the pits. Obviously, the kinder you are to them in the first couple of laps, the longer they'll last. But I think Michi Hoyer is just going to be frustrated from this race, basically. I mean, I don't know if anybody else has noticed it, as Felix van Delft is into the pits as well. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it in getting preparations ready for this particular Grand Prix, but this track has created a bit of an anomaly, potentially with the setups, and if you get it slightly wrong, it will punish you big time. Felix van Delft goes to the super soft tyre. Go on.
Danny Van der Need and Sander Carlos came really close. Oh, Mitchy spun, I think. No, okay, no, this was
Sander Callas. Callas has
so
spun.
Sander Callas made basically a dive bomb down the inside of Danny Van der Need, and then he had a screen freeze and came back side by side with Mitchy Hoyer, and then there was contact.
Oh dear, that's massively disappointing for Sander Callas. Then he's also got Felix van Delft right behind him now on a brand new set of the super soft tyres. Okay, looking up at the front, D'Alessandro all over the back of Yerny Simoncic once again. Just having a quick look at the, I was looking at the YouTube live stream. I don't want to sort of offend anyone, but it did kind of look like Mitchy Hoyer went for the apex of 2, but Sander Callas was still there. Okay, Simoncic, D'Alessandro, Simoncic going for the pits.
Oh, no, Mick. The moment he saw Simoncic splitting, he went out of the pit lane again. Same for Mohamed Patel.
Let's see, Breliak, he was close enough to attack them, but I think he's decided against it. It's possible that D'Alessandro thought that Simoncic was just going defensive, but no, it is into the pits. So Simoncic, what tyres is he going to go on to? Is another set of the soft compound tyre. Masciuli pitting as well. I think Simoncic is going to come out into clear traffic. Well, you can't have clear traffic. It's either traffic or no traffic, and he's got no traffic. So Yerny Simoncic comes out into a clear bit of track.
Yeah, in the meantime, Mitchy Hoyer also cleared Danny Van der Need.
Well, this is crunch time now for those guys up at the front, D'Alessandro, Patel, Breliak, Benkalila. If you've been saving anything, now's the time to potentially use it, because Simoncic is potentially going to gain anywhere from, 1.5 seconds a lap on the undercut?
All depends, really. It really depends on how good D'Alessandro's tires still are. If we had saved them enough, it might not be that big of a gap, because look the gap he's pulling to Mohamed Patel right now, after he has clean air. But Simoncic will be fastest anyway on new tires, there's no question about it, but they're staying out. Both Michele D'Alessandro and Mohamed Patel, Peter Breliak and Manuel Biancolella are both pitting.
That they are. Unfortunately, Germano Zappala was leading the race earlier on. Now he's the latest of the DNFs. Let's see, Biancolella, he's going to go for a set of the super soft tyre. Peter Breliak goes super soft tyre. So where is Yerny Simoncic? He's coming past the pit exit now. He's going to stay ahead of the both of them. Is he? No, it's close. It's really, really close. Side by side. Oh, Simoncic.
Oh, and this means Mohamed Patel and Michele D'Alessandro must pit this lap, because they're effectively ahead right now.
Yeah, if they pit this lap, they could be ahead of Yerny Simoncic, and it's possible that Simoncic has either just had a bit of a messy lap, or his tyres didn't get up to temperature quick enough for him. But yeah, for Peter Breliak to be that close, that could be massive for Michele D'Alessandro. I wouldn't be surprised though if Michele does pit. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Patel continue on, but I think, to be honest, he should pit.
They have to pit. That's the only chance they have right now. Also, if Breliak manages to fight Simoncic right now and lose him even more time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I mentioned a few moments ago, like, if their engineers are talking to each other, Breliak's engineer will be screaming now, pit, because I'm right behind Simoncic. And they both do pit. Yeah, D'Alessandro and Patel. Now, the question is, what tyre are these guys going to go on? Michele D'Alessandro pulls up in his pit box. A little bit of a lock-up. Super soft tyre. He's going aggressive. I think that'll be super soft to the end. Mohamed Patel stops in his box. What's it going to be? Super soft tyre. So D'Alessandro is going to pass Patel in the pits. Where is Simoncic? He's coming down the start-finish straight now. This is going to be frantic. 4 wide. Not quite. Simoncic holds on to the lead. Side by side, D'Alessandro and Peter Breliak. on the super soft tyre, and there's Bianca Lila trying to go over the inside, and D'Alessandro forces him off the track. I must admit, I'm not too impressed with that, but we've now got 4 cars trying to go side by side. This is going to get interesting. This is Hunt the Simoncic. Super soft tyre, super soft tyre, super soft tyre, super soft tyre, chasing Simoncic, who's on the soft tyre.
And staying out for meant for Mohamed Patel and Michele D'Alessandro that they lost. Simoncic, Priliak and Bianca Lilla did everything right pitting earlier. Mohamed Patel is now at the back of this group. D'Alessandro nearly lost 2 positions, but he could have been ahead of Simoncic if he would have pitted last lap.
Yeah, if it had pitted the previous lap, I think he would have clearly been ahead. Now, this is a fascinating situation because if you're Yerny Simoncic, you'll be driving now thinking, right, you've got to pass me. If these guys stay behind Simoncic when it comes to the next round of pit stops, Simoncic could blitz this. However, all of these guys, I believe, have got to stop again, which means that in reality, all Michele D'Alessandro needs to do is stay right behind Simoncic. Bianca Lila is going to go for the move, but there's a car in the pit exit. Oh, that was so close. I thought that was going to be absolute disaster. He's still side by side with Pedro Breliak, and he forces his way through.
And D'Alessandro is in front of Simoncic. Simoncic must have made a mistake out of turn 1 or turn 2, because Michele was behind him when entering turn 1.
No, Michele D'Alessandro, sorry, I'm just having a quick look at the replay. Kind of chucked it up the inside into turn 1. Caught Simoncic off guard a little bit. He was too late to try and defend. So a little bit of a Ricciardo move for D'Alessandro there to take the lead. Now this could be costly for Simoncic. But we're going to have to wait and see. This is fascinating stuff. Remco Major into the pits, probably to get his halo cleaned. Well, I have no idea what's going to happen in these last, 25 laps of this race. It could be absolutely frantic. Simoncic may find himself being given a little bit of pain here because D'Alessandro has got ahead. He's on the super soft tyre. There's a good chance he's just going to pull away throughout the rest of this race now. And Bianca Lila is closing in on the back of Simoncic as well. Michihoya being attacked by Jim Paresis. Jim Paresis around the outside into turn 1. Paresis on the super soft tyre. Michihoya on the soft compound tyre. But I think that's the highest Paresis has been so far in this race. So more pain for Michihoya. But I think, let's see, Paresis is 10 seconds behind Mohamed Patel now. But on the super soft tyre, he may try and close that gap, but the cars ahead of him are on the super softs, apart from Simoncic.
Yeah, all of them are closing up to Simoncic right now. Bianca Lilla, Briliak and Patel. Yeah, will all come and attack Simoncic rather soon.
Now, for anyone that's wondering whether Simoncic could potentially get to the end on these tyres, I think the answer quite simply there is no, unfortunately. If it was the medium compound tyre, it'd still have been a lot of laps to do on them. But yeah, he's definitely going to have another stop to do, and Bianca Lila is all over the back of him, perhaps getting a little bit too close heading into the final corner. He's going to have to be careful of that rear end, want to step out on him, but I think Bianca Lila is about to take second place. Yes, he is. Simoncic, I don't think he's running the higher engine mode on this occasion. We're realising that Bianca Lila is just way too close, and there's not much point fighting that one. Also, it's possible that Simoncic has realised that if he wants to keep in touch with D'Alessandro, he may have to let Bianca Lila go and attack him to try and slow him down a little bit. Sander Kallas into the pits, getting rid of his soft compound tyre. May be able to put on another set of that same compound. No, he's going to go super soft, so there'll be another pit stop for Sander Kallas to come yet. I think he's going to come out into a clear bit of road, is he? Maybe a bit of a battle with Jos Araneda. With Jos Araneda on the medium compound tyre. So I think...
interesting. So I'm following Peter Pryliak right now, catching up to Johnny Simoncic, and he was lifting at the end of the straight to save a bit of fuel and to not attack Simoncic.
Yeah, it's one of the easiest ways of saving a bit of fuel is doing a little bit of lift and coast, and he's seen Biancalila get past Simoncic quite comfortably, and I think it's going to be time.
Close. Yes, he has a good exit off last turn. Simoncic will have the S though, so this might be... Oh no, Pryliak must be in a higher engine mode. Oh, actually? No, Simoncic has DS in slipstream, so it's close into the braking zone. Oh,
contact!
No!
That looked a little bit unfortunate. Biancalila's got away with it. Simoncic was lucky not to get too collected in there, but Simoncic looking to attack now on Petar Pryliak. Up the inside into turn 4, and he can go more aggressive on his brakes because he's on the harder compound tyre, but Pryliak trying to switch back. He's going to be up the inside. That's a bit more contact. And here now comes Mohammed Patel, who says, thank you very much. All getting a little bit messy. I think it was lap 24. I said, oh, not much has been happening with these guys. It's all kicking off now. So let's see, Petar Pryliak, Mohammed Patel. These guys need to get past Johnny Simoncic as quick as possible.
Mohammed Patel will make a move. Johnny goes defensive. Mohammed Patel around the outside. Can't make it stick around the outside though.
Interestingly though, Simoncic didn't squeeze him at all towards the edge of the track there. I kind of prefer to see that because you can't complain about any kind of contact. I mean, from the angle I had of that incident then at turn 1, it's difficult to tell exactly what happened.
But it looked like from the outside that Pryliak was surprised Biancalila was there and locked his rear tires under braking.
Yeah, it is quite possible. Here we go then. Mohammed Patel is going to have a decent run at Johnny Simoncic. It's going to be an easy pass, really. Petar Pryliak is not going to be close enough to try and do the same, but his time should come. Simoncic almost hit the back of Mohammed Patel then. And while all of this has been kicking off, D'Alessandro has been able to open up a 4-second gap on Biancalila. Simoncic going defensive on Petar Pryliak. Let's see, Jim Paresis. I mentioned that Jim Paresis was 10 seconds behind Mohammed Patel. He's now only 5 seconds behind Petar Pryliak as Martin Gosby heads off into the pit lane for a brand new set of tyres. So all of that drama there has benefited Jim Paresis quite a lot. So what, 21 laps left of this race? It seems like we've already been here for so long already, and there's still a long way to go in this race. At least one more round of pit stops for these leading cars. But Michele D'Alessandro now sitting in a very, very comfortable position. I mentioned at the end of qualifying, could Simoncic make it pole and a win? I don't think it's going to happen here. And Michele D'Alessandro will be absolutely loving this at the moment. Let's see, is Petar Pryliak going to be close enough to Simoncic? I think he may be by the end of the straight, but Simoncic has got DRS. Pryliak having a look, but realising it'd be a little bit too risky to try and attack too hard.
And it looks like Peter Pryliak has a little bit of suspension damage from the incident earlier in turn 1. Looks like steering is slightly pointing to the right on the straights.
Well, seeing as you've mentioned that, I was going to have a quick look at Simoncic. Simoncic looks okay at the moment. I think Mohammed Patel is closing in slightly on Biancalila. Mohammed Patel steering maybe slightly only marginally twisted. Biancalila, he's looking comfortable at the moment though. So what have we got? Is Petar Breliak kind of needs to get a shift on here. He needs to get past Jurni Simoncic, because he's just seen 3 guys get past Simoncic and pull away, and now he is stuck. Now, there is a bit of a battle going on further down the order. Sander Callas, I mentioned a while ago, has put on a set of the super soft tyres. He's got Martin Gosby right behind him, also running the super softs. And Jos Araneda, I think, has been attacked by the both of them. And attacked and passed.
Petar Breliak will make a move now. He's gaining already. Going side by side with Simoncic down pit lane. Pit straight, I mean.
I tell you what, Breliak was definitely in maximum engine mode then, and Simoncic, I think, may have been in the lowest. I wouldn't be surprised if Simoncic is going to say, you know what, this has hurt me. I'm going to save as much fuel as I can, and then just go push like mad on his last set of tyres. But as exciting as this last sort of 10 laps or so has been, it's kind of messed up the race a little bit up at the front. Greco and Birakov getting a little bit close to each other. I think Greco's just made the move on the super soft tyres. I mean, interestingly as well, I mean, okay, there's a few people that have used the medium compound tyre, but let's have a look. I don't think anybody in the top 10 has actually used the medium compound tyre today, unless Danny van der Neet did. If he did, he'd be the only one. I also mentioned that I thought Patel was catching up to Biancalila. He is slowly. He's gained half a second on him over the course of the last lap or so. So that gap is coming down. I'm going to have a quick look and be off microphone for 2 seconds, just while I have a look at how many laps these guys have done on their tyres. Okay, so by the looks of it, the super soft tyres on these cars, they're going to be going another 5-6 laps maybe, which would put them to what, lap 45? They'd be able to run super softs to the end again. Simoncic, I would say he needs to do something different, but there's not a lot he can do, is there, Peter? He's basically got to keep going until he can put the super soft tyre on.
Yes, so yeah, but I think all of the top 4 will do super softs again to the end. So
yep, definitely.
He's already disadvantaged by strategy, basically.
Eros Masciuli is closing the gap on Michi Hoyer. Michi Hoyer sitting in 7th place at the moment and could potentially lose that position. They're both on the soft compound tyre, so it's a fair battle on compound, maybe not on tyre life though. And D'Alessandro opening up that gap at the front now to 5.1 seconds. He's going to need to have a disaster to basically not win this one now, as Mohamed Patel closes that gap ever shorter to Biancalila.
But Eros Masciuli is now getting close to Michi, but Michi's pitting.
Okay, so that'll be Michi Hoyer for another set of the soft compound tyres to the end, I reckon. Simoncic has managed to keep pace with Breliak, by the way. Managed to keep in touch with him. The only problem is, the cars ahead of him are going to pit before him to a faster compound tyre. Simoncic is not in a good situation at the moment. Mohamed Patel, though, all over the back of Biancalila now. And I think by the end of this lap, he's going to have an opportunity to overtake.
Thing is, Simoncic can keep up with Breliak, but Breliak can't keep up with the top 3 because I think his tires are a bit more worn than the other 3 in front of him.
Quite possibly. You mentioned earlier on about someone had a Gosby with his spin, punishing the tyre, shortening the stint length, and obviously Breliak had that completely sideways moment into turn 1 with Biancalila, so that will have hurt his tyres. Let's see though, is Mohamed Patel going to be close enough to attack? He's closing up massively in the braking zones, you know, is Mohammed Patel, and he is going to be close enough. But I think Biancalila is going to have gone engine mix through the roof,
Yeah,
party mode.
He's gaining on, well, not anymore, but at the beginning of the straight he was gaining, even though Moo had slipstream and DRS open. So Moo is possibly saving some fuel behind him, while Biancalila is using all of his fuel. Yeah.
Well, it's going to get interesting. I mean, what, maybe 3-4 laps, I said, until these guys need to pit again. I think D'Alessandro, he's got enough of a gap. He can wait until everybody behind him has pitted and then pit if he wanted. I can't see him losing 6 seconds through a 1-lap undercut. As Kirill Birakov makes his way into the pit lane for a brand new set of tyres. But Mohammed Patel definitely 100% within DRS range. And I think he will know as well. He's going to have to be right up the gearbox of Biancalila if he's going to want to have any chance of overtaking, because he's going to have to use the DRS. He's going to have to use maximum engine mode. So he needs every opportunity. And the only way he can do it is to absolutely nail the braking zone in the final corner. Let's see how he gets on. But Biancalila's pulling away from him down the penultimate straight here. And again, Biancalila has had a very good exit. DRS opens up for Mohammed Patel, but I think he may already be too far back. Yeah, only hitting 323 kilometers an hour. I don't think he's in maximum engine mode there, trying to go for an attack yet.
No, I don't think so. And Felix van Deft is pitting. I guess it's his last stop and he will put on his softs again.
No, he's going super softs.
Oh.
So 15 laps, he's going to try 16 laps on the super soft tyre. Let's see, he's going to come out a little bit behind. Oh no, he has gone soft tyre, my apologies. It didn't update the tyre for me. So yeah, you were right, Peter. It is the soft tyre to the end for Felix van Deft.
It looks like an every traction zone that Biancalila has way better traction than Mohammed Patel.
I think you could be absolutely right. I mean, I mentioned in qualifying that from what I've seen, it's looked like Patel has had sort of quite high aeros at most tracks, doesn't go for straight line speed, tends to go for the grip. But at this circuit, it looks like he's gone in a slightly different direction. But he's able to be very aggressive in the braking zones, but when it comes to getting that foot down, little twitches of oversteer, but a much better exit for him on this occasion. Now he needs to turn the engine up. Yeah, look at this, completely different situation. Let's see what speed he gets to on this occasion. He's turned his engine back down. As soon as he got ahead, he turned his engine down. He went up to 320 kilometers an hour and then dropped down to 319 miles before the braking zone. So yeah, Mohammed Patel working that one out quite nicely. Jim Parisis into the pits, by the way, for what should be his final pit stop, and it's a set of soft compound tyres for him. Should come out in clean air. Yerny Simičić, though, has managed to close that gap up massively on Petr Breliak. And this is one of the difficulties with a super soft tyre. In the last 3-4 laps of the stint, they are going to be awful. Greco and Danny van der Neet battling hard through turns 1 and 2. David Greco managing to steal the position off Danny van der Neet. Michi Hoyer not too far behind them. And I think Felix van Delt may have actually closed the gap a bit on Michi Hoyer as well. Well, fascinating stuff here from the drivers in the FSR World Championship. The lead that Michele D'Alessandro has been able to pull out, and into the pits he goes for what will be his final stop. This could benefit him massively. I don't think he's going to come out into any traffic whatsoever.
Biancalila and Breliak are pitting as well.
Yep, so this is going to be probably the more painful time for Simičić as well. So Michele D'Alessandro about to rejoin the track. as Masciuli also heading in to the pit lane. So let's see, D'Alessandro's going to come out just behind Remco Major, but Remco is a lap down. So Michele D'Alessandro should be given a free pass here, which will give him plenty of clear track. Although saying that, Remco has not let him pass yet. He's actually getting in his way.
Yeah.
He needs to get out of the way there. As much as I like seeing battling in action, it's a blue flag situation. You need to move.
Michele will not be happy with this, especially if he stays in front of him here.
Oh, Michele's having to go so slow. Remco's got to move out of the way. I mean, okay, Michele's going to have DRS, but it should be a case of he doesn't need it. That car has got to move. And he's just sitting on the racing line.
It even looks like Remco's using higher engine modes on the straight to defend right now.
Maybe the halo is blocking the vision of seeing the blue flag, but somebody needs to tell him, turn your engine down, pull over. There we go, finally. It's probably 4 kilometres too late for D'Alessandro. It may have cost him a little bit of time, but I don't think it's going to cost him the chance of a win. Patel in the pits, Simoncic in the pits. So Simoncic has basically only done 1 or 2 laps more on his soft tyres than Patel did on the super softs. And that's only because Simoncic pitted considerably earlier. Oh, and nearly contacting the pit lane as well. I think Simoncic has just lost a lot of time in the pit lane, having to go round a car. He's massively behind Peter Breliak now.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's lost about 4 seconds. So by the looks of it then, Michele D'Alessandro did lose about a second, being stuck behind Remco Major for 3/4 of a lap. But now Bianca Lila is catching up to Remco Major. The benefit for Bianca Lila should be that Major should now be fully aware that there's the leading cars are right behind him and he needs to move out of the way. Although he could hold these guys up exactly the same as he did with Michele D'Alessandro. Let's see. Simoncic has lost so much time there. It's painful to see, really.
Yeah, that's part of the strategy again. He took the slower tire for his last stint, which meant he was slower in this stint, but this also means he goes longer and loses more time against the others who then undercut him. And then there was Muhammad Patel sitting in the pit box right in front of him, so he had to go around him.
Yeah, that there was. Okay, Bianca Lila has still not got past Remco Major yet. I mean, it's an interesting situation for Major. If he's fast enough to pull away, he can stay ahead and pull away, but he's not fast enough.
Patel ahead of Bianca Lila.
Okay, my mistake.
Remco's up the road in front of Patel.
Maybe I was just seeing into the future in about 5 laps' time. That's what I'm going with. You know what? I've been awake since 5 o'clock this morning. That's my excuse. I'm going with it. So Bianca Lila is closing in on Remco Major. It's been a long day. Now, interestingly, through the course of the pit stop phase, Peter Breliak has managed to close in a massive gap to Bianca Lila and Patel.
What's even more interesting, Felix van Dijk is only 2 seconds behind Michi Hoyer now.
Oh, who's that off the track? I think it might be a back marker. I saw somebody going a little bit slow there. It may have been Sergi Eras just getting out of the way. Yeah, I did mention a few laps ago that it looked like Felix van Dijk was closing in on Michi Hoyer, and he is. Michi Hoyer is behind Masciuli. Masciuli's on the super soft tyre, and I think we'll be going to the end. And interestingly, Yerni Simoncic is being caught by Jim Paresis. Jim Paresis he's under a second behind Simoncic.
Yes, does he need to pitch?
I don't think he does. By the way, I just want to mention Mohammed Patel is closing in on the halo-adorned Remco Major, who should be aware that the rest of the leading cars are catching him up, because I've been talking about it for the last 12 minutes. And Major does get out of the way quite nicely. Is it nice enough, though? Maybe.
A bit ugly parking it on the apex, but better than blocking him for another half a lap.
Yeah, definitely. It's potentially close things up a little bit here. Just have a quick look. Yeah, Parisis definitely looks like he's closing in on Simoncic, which is surprising because Parisis is on soft tyres, Simoncic the super softs. Felix van Delft is getting ever closer to Michi Hoyer as well. I mentioned in qualifying, Felix not having the best of qualifying sessions, but he's trying to make up for it in the race here. And David Greco now sitting in 10th place, last of the points paying positions, having started at the back of the grid. Biancalila may be close enough to attack, but no, I think Mohammed Patel has decided to use his engine modes now. Well, fight for the podium for Mohammed Patel. Biancalila, Breliak, Simoncic is out of this fight and he's going to have to defend that 5th position. See, Michi Hoyer too far away from Asciuli to attack, I think, and Felix van Delft is within a second now of Michi Hoyer. I think Michi's struggling. Michi's on the medium compound tyre.
Oh,
he pitted with, what, 15, 16 laps to go?
He did, yeah, that's what the top 4 is doing on super softs.
Yeah. I feel maybe the tyres were screaming so much that they refused to go on his car. But yeah, that's going to be costly for Michi Hoyer because he's got Felix van Delft catching him up. I think Greco may be too far away. Yeah, he is. But Felix is just gaining on him so quick. It's unbelievable. Well, it is believable because it's happening. Bit of a contradiction there, but there we go. So starting at lap 48 of 57, or no, sorry, my apologies. Lap 48, I believe, has been completed. Starting lap 49, and second, third, and fourth still close, but no moves being made. How is Michi Hoyer getting on? He's still ahead of Felix van Delft, but I think it's going to be a potentially easy move for Felix down into turn 1. With Michi having no DRS to defend with. So here we go, Felix van Delft round the outside as Michi Hoyer defends the inside. Oh, nearly a bit of contact between the two of them, but the faster, softer compounder tyre, you can see there Michi Hoyer struggling with rear end grip on those mediums, and pretty much everybody I know that has driven the medium compound tyre around this track has said they're not a nice tyre to drive around this track.
I quite liked them earlier today.
Okay, one person has liked them. Okay, we're getting to crunch time now for these guys in second, third and fourth. Mohammed Patel has sort of slightly opened up a little bit of a gap on Biancalila. He's been able to break DRS. So Biancalila is not going to be able to use DRS to defend against Breliak. So this could be Breliak's opportunity now.
I think Breliak is still a bit too far behind Biancalila to make a move.
I think you could be absolutely spot on there. He's closing the gap, but not enough to make any kind of attack. Parisis and Simoncic sort of holding station at the moment. Erdos Masciuli sitting in 7th place. Got a bit of a gap to Felix van Delft, and Felix is coming under pressure from Michi Hoyer is coming under pressure from Remco Major. No, actually, no, Michi Hoyer is attacking Felix van Delft into turn 1 up the inside. That's going to get messy.
Contact. Yeah. This was always going to be contact with this sort of angle into turn 1.
Yeah, if you're all the way up to the right-hand side of the track, it's going to be so difficult to get the car slowed
And now
down.
Remco is attacking Mitchie Hoyer.
I mean, I mentioned earlier that if you're fast enough to pass and pull away, you can go for it, and that's going to hurt Mitchie Hoyer. He's been unlapped while he's on the medium compound tyre. Are you sure you still like those mediums, Peter?
Well, it was fine for me, apparently. Yeah, not fine for Mitchie. I mean, for me they got faster the longer the stint went.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, different driving styles, different setups. There's so many different factors to how the cars handle and which tyre you may or may not like. Interestingly, Mohamed Patel has closed the gap on D'Alessandro by about half a second to a second. So I don't know if D'Alessandro is just into a little bit of a fuel saving mode or Patel is pushing. Let's have a look. D'Alessandro's last lap, 30.2, Mohamed Patel a 30.0. So Patel 2/10 quicker.
Oh, and Remco Mayor is attacking Felix van Delft into turn 1. And he's past Felix van Delft.
The Halo does it again. I mean, fair play to him. Like I say, if you can pass and pull away, go for it. You just need to make sure you can pull away, because if you can't, you're going to be shouted at. I'm just wondering if Mitchie Hoyer is going to be coming under attack from anybody else. Not for position, I don't think. Although David Greco is coming under attack a little bit from Danny van der Neet. And behind them, Martin Gosby and Kirill Birakov close as well. So there's still a few battles out there. Danny van der Neet trying to get Greco for the final points paying position. D'Alessandro must be in massive fuel saving, because Patel has just closed another half a second on him. No, 7/10 of a second on him.
Yeah, he's probably saving tires and fuel right now. Just to make sure you make it to the end comfortably.
D'Alessandro, 30.7. Mohamed Patel, 29.9. So Mohamed Patel is pushing, but Bianca Lila, he's just done the fastest lap of the race with a 29.5. So Patel and Bianca Lila have decided, you know what, now's the time to see if we can catch up. If these guys catch them up, I think I'll just retire, you know. I thought this race was done and dusted 8 laps ago.
That's actually incredible pace right now going into the 29s.
Yeah, I mean, to put that into perspective, there's potentially people in Pro that were thinking that's quicker than my qualifying time. Props to the WC drivers for making everybody else depressed for the rest of the week. But I mean, you're right, with the tyres being so tired, okay, the track's rubbered in a lot now, but even so, the drivers will be tired. The cars are going to be aching. It's not easy to be that quick at this stage. I can't believe that Mohamed Patel is going to be able to catch up Michele D'Alessandro, because if D'Alessandro is saving now, it's either because he's critical or he just wants a little bit to defend if he needs it. So yeah, we'll have to wait to see what the last 4 or 5 laps are going to bring.
And then Ivan Anit is closing in on David Cracker again. They're about to go onto the pit straight. I don't think Danny is close enough to make a move onto David Cracker onto turn 1.
Well, they've been sort of...
This was a close one, but he didn't make the move in the end.
I was just going to say, they've been close for quite a while now, so I don't know if there's a bit of fuel saving going on there, or Greco just having enough pace to hold Danny van der Neet off. Let's see, Mohamed Patel has dropped off a little bit, couple of tenths from Michele D'Alessandro. But Bianca Lila is fighting for his life to stay within DRS range. Peter Breliak has had no response to the guys ahead of him. When they made their push, he couldn't. And Michele D'Alessandro has responded, lap time of a 29.9, Mohamed Patel a 30.0, and Bianca Lila a 29.9, while Peter Breliak is doing a 30.4, which is the same as Yerny Simoncic pretty much. So by the looks of it, it's going to be a fight for second rather than a potential fight for first.
I'm still looking at the battle of Danny Van Der Neet and David Cracker. If Danny Van Der Neet gets a good exit now, might be able to attack, but David Cracker has a really, really good exit. But Danny Van Der Neet might dive up the inside now into turn 1. He does side by side into the braking zone into turn 1. Oh, there was nearly contact. Danny Van Der Neet, a lot of oversteer, nearly spins the car. Could just save it out of turn 2. And now there's a gap of 2 seconds.
Interestingly, not too far behind them as well, Kirill Burakov and Sander Kallas, just under a second between those two as well. But
Bianca Lila closed up to Patel, yes.
Yeah, he has really closed the gap up on this occasion. And I think it's great to see people applying the pressure on the likes of Mohamed Patel, Yerny Simoncic and Michele D'Alessandro. Obviously, Jeroen Kwekel not racing today, is unavailable. Wojciech Lukaszek was sitting in as a reserve, but I think he was one of the drivers that may have been involved in that first lap crash that we saw in the background at the start of the race. I mean, not exactly sure what happened there. It could have been a stalled car, it could have been a jump start, could have been anything at all. I'm sure we'll find out afterwards, but it's massively disappointing when you've spent a couple of weeks preparing for a race and it's over before you can really get going. It looks like Danny Van Der Neet has closed the gap in again a little bit, or was trying to David Greco. 1.2 seconds between them when I think it dropped to a couple of seconds, did you say?
I think it was about 2 seconds.
Okay, so those still fighting it out for that last point. Bianca Lila, I'm trying to remember back to Melbourne, and I mean, I don't mean any offence to him, but Bianca Lila is not a name I can remember saying too much in Melbourne. But then my memory is a bit shocking. If you ask Peter, I'm 50 years old. I'm not quite there yet. But to be fair, he's had an absolutely fantastic race here today. Definitely a driver to keep an eye on in the future, that's for certain.
And Ruben Patel is already going defensive on the pit side, trying to break the slipstream a little bit there.
I think Bianca Lila may just be biding his time a little bit, you know. I think he realises he's probably going to have one opportunity and he's going to try and take it as late as possible. D'Alessandro's been able to open that gap up again to, 4.5 seconds, just over 4.5 seconds. So very comfortable out there at the moment. Peter Breliak has also had a fantastic race, a few hairy moments for him. Yerny Simoncic, though, I think he's going to be... Him and Michi Hoyer could be two drivers that are not going to be best pleased with how this race has turned out. And I tell you what, Michi Hoyer is going to have to be careful, because I said a while ago that the gap between himself and Greco is too big for Greco to close up. But actually, it is only 4 seconds, and okay, there's only, 2 laps to go, but... Michi Hoyer's going to have to be careful. He's going to have to keep the pace going there.
Yeah. And I think we just missed it.
Bianca Lila. Go on.
Yeah, and Sander Kallas just passed Kirill Burakov for P30.
I think Mohamed Patel may have just got a little bit wide through turn 13. Bianca Lila, a little too sideways. That could cost him. Actually, he's not too far away.
Oh yeah, he's you could see in the middle of the straight.
332, 333 kilometers an hour. That is full boost. That is.
You could see in the middle of the straight how Mohamed Patel turned his end. Oh, Biancolilla.
You know what? That's potentially a little bit of frustration. I said he may only have one opportunity, and unfortunately for him, that tiny little bit of oversteer through the final corner cost him the opportunity to make the overtake. Without that, he'd have got him, I reckon.
And you could see how Biancolilla was gaining, and then in the middle of the straight, Patel turned his engine on, and like not on but higher, this engine mode, and then they were like the same speed basically.
Yeah, I tell you what, Biancolilla did extremely well. He's closed the gap up already, but he did extremely well.
Yeah, but he was drifting again through the hairpin there, going so aggressive that he lost time again.
Now, I believe Michele D'Alessandro is only 2 corners away from starting the... completing the race.
Biancolilla is extremely close to Mohamed Patel right now.
He really, really is. Okay, so Michele D'Alessandro coming around the final corner for what I believe will be the final time. Yes, it is. He's weaving. He's happy. D'Alessandro takes victory here in Bahrain. Can Mohamed Patel hold on to that second place? Biancolilla is pushing all the way to the end. A fantastic second and third for them. Petr Breliak across the line in fourth, with Yerni Simičić frustrated in fifth. Jim Parisis, a good result for him in sixth place, while Eros Masciuli heads into the final corner to take what will be seventh. Felix van Delft sitting in eighth place. Not many cars around him at the moment. However, what is that happening in the background? That is Michi Hoyer with David Greco not that far behind him, but they have got a car in between them. So Michi Hoyer is going to come across the line in ninth position. Another driver who's going to be frustrated, David Greco, will take that 10th place, while Danny van der Neet takes 11th. Martin Gosby, he's going to cross the line in 12th place for flag to flag, while Sander Kallas has had a bit of an eventful race today. He's going to cross the line in 13th, with Kirill Burakov cruising over the finish line to take 14th.
He actually is out of fuel, his engine is off.
Thought he might be, while his teammate Yossa Reneda closes the gap to take 15th place, while Giglioli 16th and Remco Major 17th and Sergio Arras takes 18th.
Yeah, and I think this was all of our drivers finished right now.
Well, I don't know what I'm more exhausted from, the commentary on that race or from the race earlier on. Either way, it's been an interesting one, that's for certain. Many twists and turns, and hopefully we'll be able to have a quick chat with Michele D'Alessandro, Mohamed Patel, and hopefully Biancolilla as well. We'll see if we can get them in for a little bit of a chat to get their views on how that race went. But Peter, I'm just wondering if there's any part of that race that stands out for you as sort of the highlight or the turning point of the race.
What stands out for me? Probably the first 40 laps. the train of the top 5. No, I think the most impressive part was strategy-wise, the Muster boys, I would call them, going for the super softs, where Simičić is going the normal soft tire, and then all of them making the move, overtaking, pulling the gap. Yeah, this was quite impressive, I have to say. And especially the pace in the end of Biancolilla, Patel, D'Alessandro.
Yeah, I think Biancolilla was probably my highlight of the day, to be honest. He's not someone, no offence to him, he's not someone that I would have said, hey, he's going to be sitting on the podium at the end of the race. Now, I did put a question out there during the formation lap earlier on. I'm going to fire it out there again, see if Peter's going to be brave enough to have a thrash at the answer of this one. So the question is, which team last won in the World Championship, or which was the last team to win in the World Championship that was not an ACR, a Go Speed, a Musto, or an OFR car? And if you know the driver, bonus points to you as well.
What about precision?
Say again?
What about precision?
It's a good guess. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or not. I could put you out of your misery. Obviously, I'll not be keeping an eye on the YouTube chat today, so obviously if anyone's been saying anything happy or bad, apologies, not been able to read them. But for anyone that has had a guess at this question, and sorry I didn't fire it out more during the race, the answer is flag to flag. And it was Martin Gosby at Silverstone last year, Peter, when you were racing last year.
Oh, it was probably away that weekend.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I think we may have Michele waiting for a quick chat. He's not quite with us at the moment. As soon as they do come and join us, we will see if we can grab them for a quick discussion.
And just coming back onto your question, Chris Cobb just said in the chat that Victor Ivanov said flag to flag Gosby was the last winner, not. Yeah, that's the answer to your question.
Yeah, he got it absolutely spot on then. And you can tell I may be old, Peter, but you obviously didn't hear Cameron answer the question sneakily into our ears when I asked it earlier on as well. So there we go. Quick mention as well for anyone that's interested in getting involved in Formula Sim racing, check out the links in the description and come and check out the forums. The car is available to download for free to try if you wish. Obviously, there are fees that apply to joining the league, but you can find out all of the information on the Formula Sim Racing forums. You can also follow Formula Sim Racing on Twitter at F1 Sim Racing. I'm not sure if we've had Twitter updates going today because Ron Squire, who usually does them for us, I believe has been unavailable today. Okay, we do now have Michele D'Alessandro, and I believe Mohamed Patel has joined us for a quick chat as well. It would be brilliant if we could get Bianca Lila in for a chat too. But we will move straight on to Michele D'Alessandro. Michele, congratulations. First win of the season. I asked you, I think last time out, if you're perhaps a little frustrated that you couldn't get that second and a half that you needed. Strategy was very different today. Yerny Simicic was a fair few seconds behind, but it didn't look an easy one out there. Talk us through how your race went in those early stages of opening up the gap, coming under attack, and then when all hell broke loose from about midpoint.
It was a really tough race. Bahrain is not an easy track, and managed tires here is really hard. It's a stop and go track, and the rear die quite fast, and it wasn't easy at all. The first stint I saw that Simoncic was 7 tenths, 8 tenths behind, so I know that DRS and slipstream are quite powerful, so I tried to break the DRS, but I was able to, but I almost finished my fuel, so my average fuel was too low, so I had to back up a bit, and well, then the second stint I managed behind him, and I struggled a bit at the start of the stint to have the same pace as Simoncic, but then I did 2 laps that were good. I mixed a bit, I used more engine fuel, and I was able to catch him. And at the end of the stint, I had really good tires to push a lot, and I was really close. So I did 2 extra laps. I didn't lose anything to Simoncic, and with super soft. When Daniel Keys told us that he was with soft, I knew that it was going to be a bit easier from that point.
Were you surprised that he was on the softs?
Yes, I still think that maybe he misclicked the tire in the pit, because I don't exactly know what was his lap time or his strategy, but I think he could have done 3 super soft as well, but I may be wrong.
So when obviously he's made that pit stop, he's on the soft tyres, you're right behind him, you must have been laughing at that point. Not laughing at him, but laughing as you said, this could be a bit easier now.
Yes, let's say it was easier, because I know that in this track with DRS and the slipstream is quite easy to stay all together, be able to overtake. And so when I saw that I overtook him and Manuel overtook him, and I had 3 seconds, I knew that from that point that all I had to do is bring the car home. So I'm quite happy about that.
And from joy to frustration, I hear the Musto beep machine broke when you were behind Remco Major with the amount of swearing that may have been coming out of your mouth at that point. Was there much frustration in that situation?
The thing is that seeing what he did in Australia with Petter in the straight, that he heated him in the straight, I was quite scared, to be honest, being behind him. And at the end, he let me pass after one entire lap, and nothing happened. So I'm happy about that, but I was quite scared during the race, to be honest.
Okay, last question from me. In that last stint, you had about a 7-second lead. It came down to 3 seconds. Obviously, fuel saving, and Michele was pushing. Sorry, not Michele. Hamid Patel was pushing. How critical was your fuel at that point?
I was safe. I was very safe with fuel. I was just careful with the fuel, and I was managing. I wasn't pushing at all. The only reason why I lost from Mu is because he had to defend, and I didn't have to. But I think it's a normal race situation.
Okay, I did say that was going to be my last question, but I have got one more. What happened to your teammate?
I have no idea. I wasn't with him in TeamSpeak, so I don't know what happened to him. Maybe you know. I don't know.
Oh, I've no idea. Okay,
because he left. Or what did he do?
Yeah, all I saw was him parked up at turn 1, and then next thing he's gone.
I have no idea.
Oh,
I will ask him. I don't know.
Okay. Peter Schulze, any questions for Michele D'Alessandro?
Not really. You already asked all the questions needed.
That's what you get for calling me old earlier. Okay. Michele, well done and congratulations. Fantastic result for you. Makes the championship very, very interesting as well. I'm going to quickly move on to Mohammed Patel. A fascinating race from yourself, Patel. I'm only going to ask you one question and I'll let Peter come in. Were there any conversations between you and your teammate or you and your teammates' engineers where Peter Breliak's engineer was shouting at yours saying, tell him to pit, because Simoncic is right in front of me. If you pit, you come out in front of him.
No. I think the nice thing with me and Michele and Petter, especially as a team, we work really well together. Unfortunately, it can't be said for the entire team, but we, at least, like, for example, we knew that Bro and I were sharing pit boxes, which didn't make it the world's best scenario when we, of course, have the same strategy, same setup, same ideas going into the race. But to be honest, I was saving my tires behind Michele, and we were working together to allow him to save tires, fuel behind Jerne. And I allow Petter in all of the 3 pit stops to pretty much have the preferential pit in. So I did, I think, 14 in the first stint just to help him out. Second stint, I probably, in hindsight, if he could have done an extra lap, I could have done an extra lap. It would have been better. But at that time of the race, we didn't really know if I could do the extra lap before switching over back over to super softs. And yet again, Danny did an amazing job as engineer, because it's not an easy job to manage guys all together. But I think the team morale is pretty good, and we work well as a team, and that's the main thing. And we got 1 to Biancoli the third and Petter fourth, so it's a great job.
Okay, good stuff. Peter Schulze, any questions for Mohammed Patel? No? Okay, I'll carry on.
Okay. Then no, my only question would be, in the end, when you and Manu decided to break the 30 mark and go into the 29s, were you fuel saving before that and then turn the engine up, or did you just decide to have a bit of fun?
I honestly was a bit disappointed at that part of the race because basically myself and Michele were in really nice positions, but Manu and Petter, they jumped to me, and Michele just got just in front. So that's when I lost the contact with Mick. That's where he pretty much won the race. As I was saying before, in the first, second, third stint, we all worked as a team. So we were just not trying to waste fuel, waste tires, and try to make sure that collectively we could be in the best position possible. And therefore, I had some extra fuel left. I wasn't going for fun. I was trying to break DRS from Manu so that Petter could have a better chance at getting a podium. But he did an amazing job in the last stint to stick that close and put me under pressure on the last 2 laps.
Yeah. Any more questions, Peter?
No, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the last stint it was fascinating to watch. That's for certain. I mean, I mentioned on the broadcast that Bianca Lila was a name that I couldn't really remember much from Melbourne, but there's definitely going to be one I'll remember from today, because at the end of the day, Patel, you are the reigning champion, and anyone that beats you or competes with you is going to be seen as having some ability, that's for certain. I mean, were you feeling the pressure at that point? Was it frustrating you, or were you comfortable?
I wasn't comfortable because his pace was amazing in the last part of the race. We thought that he was mixing a little bit more, so I was a bit surprised to still see him where he was, considering he pitted 1 lap before me as well. It was pretty good. But to be honest, that just shows that as a team, we're working really well with the setup development from Australia onto here. And yeah, hopefully we can do a little bit better for the next race.
Well, a little bit better. There's only one position you can gain compared to today.
I meant myself and Petter.
Fair enough. Fantastic race anyway. Congratulations on the second place. Hopefully Bianca Lila is with us on his microphone. Are you there, Bianca Lila?
Yes.
Hello and welcome to the FSR podium chat. Congratulations, as I mentioned just a moment ago and on the broadcast. Don't take offence by me saying that I don't remember you much from Melbourne. For all I know, you may not have even been racing, but you did have what looked like a fantastic race today, mixing things up for certain. Couple of hairy moments, one of which was in those final few laps. We were watching, we're sitting there in the commentary box and we're saying it's probably going to have one chance. And when that opportunity came, there was a tiny little bit of oversteer. I think it was on the penultimate lap, tiny little bit of oversteer, and it cost you cost you the opportunity. Your thoughts about how the race went? Is there any frustration that you weren't able to gain an additional position?
I thought that I could do a bit more, but in the last stint I saw like Mu went away, so I tried to push even more. Even though I got less fuel than him and less tire wear, I think. And yes, it was a bit frustrating, but fun in the end.
Okay, good stuff. Petter Schulze, any questions for Bianca Lila?
Where did you pull that 29.5 from?
I don't know. Honestly, I thought this race would be like not what it is right now. Because yesterday I did the race for the WEC and Condell train. I did a less train instead of Melbourne. I did like 1,000 laps in Melbourne. Yeah, they were like 600, something like that. So I didn't think it would be like that.
Yeah, but you managed to give us quite an entertaining race, all three of you.
That is for certain. So, Bianca Lila, next race is at the Paul Ricard circuit. Do you think you can fight for another podium there?
I hope to.
You hope to. Good answer. Mohammed Patel, quickly to you. Paul Ricard circuit, next time out. Is it a track you know well? Do you think you can be taking a victory in that one?
I have never done a single lap around Paul Ricard, so it will be interesting.
Let's put
I don't even know where turn 1 is. So. Does it go left? Does it go right? I have no idea. I've seen a couple of videos of some of our Italians driving a GT car at Paul Ricard, and that was quite hilarious. Other than that, I don't really know the circuit.
Well, to make you feel a little bit better, the last time I drove on there is so long ago, there's people racing in FSR that probably weren't even born when I last drove on that track. And also there's a few different versions of it. Okay, Michele D'Alessandro, today's race winner. Similar question to you. Paul Ricard is next. You can't go any further positions forward, but could you be going for a pole and a win?
He's too excited to answer your question.
I think he's
that-
gone for a WC break. I think we'll put it that way. Either that or he's hit mute and he doesn't know it. So he can't talk at the moment. So Michele D'Alessandro says he's going to absolutely smash everybody next time out in Paul Ricard, while Mohammed Patel says, I have no idea which way the track goes. That's going to be an interesting one. So make sure you come and join us for round 3. I should check the date of that race. I will do that right now.
2 weeks from now.
There you go. Petter says it 2 weeks from now. So yeah, join us for that, for Pro, Ace and the World Championship, where things could heat up a little bit more. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And if you do want to try the Formula Sim Racing car, check out the forums. All the links are in the description. Petter Schulze, thank you very much for doing the broadcast today and for joining us on commentary. And also thank you to all of the broadcasters and race directors and commentators for all of today's Formula Sim Racing action. And we'll see you again soon.
Hey man, I got that new TMX Thrustmaster wheel. It's going down.
Xbox One?
I can't wait to play when I get home.
Yo, let me play.
Yeah, I play first. Yeah.
You know, I'll race it for it.
Well, I have a hand.